Crimp, a word that might remind some of us about that time when our sergeant, in the middle of a drill, decided to demonstrate a crimp on a cartridge. The thing is, he couldn't get it open. So there he was, a tough, seasoned veteran, wrestling with a tiny piece of brass as if it were an alligator. And you know the funny part? The alligator won. But today isn't about wrestling alligators or stubborn sergeants. Instead, we're diving into the world of DIY, focusing on an essential skill for reloading enthusiasts: removing military crimp from brass casings. It's simpler than you might think and definitely easier than wrestling alligators. The first step in our journey is gathering the necessary tools. You'll need a primer pocket reamer or a swagging tool, a reloading press, and of course, your crimped brass. Begin by setting up your reloading press according to the manufacturer's instructions. Ensure that your primer pocket reamer or swag tool fits properly. Trust me, you don't want to start without making sure everything is in its place. It's like going into the battlefield without your helmet. Not a good idea. Once everything is set, it's time to remove the crimp. Take your brass casing and place it in the reloading press. Then apply the reamer or swag tool. Think of it as a dance. The brass casing is your partner, and the reamer or swag tool is your guide. You don't want to step on your partner's toes, do you? So apply just enough pressure to remove the crimp without damaging the casing. Repeat this process for each casing. It might seem tedious, but remember, patience is a virtue. It's like peeling potatoes in the mess hall. You might not enjoy it, but it's got to be done. Once all the casings are crimp-free, give yourself a pat on the back. You've successfully removed military crimp from brass casings. Now, you're ready for the next step in your reloading journey. To recap, the process of removing military crimp involves 3 main steps. First, gather the necessary tools: a primer pocket reamer or a swagging tool, a reloading press, and your crimped brass. Second, set up your reloading press and ensure that your tools are properly fitted. Third, carefully apply the reamer or swag tool to each casing, removing the crimp without damaging the brass. So there you have it, a straightforward step-by-step guide to removing military crimp from brass casings. It's not as daunting as it sounds, is it? And it's definitely easier than wrestling an alligator, or a stubborn sergeant for that matter. Happy reloading!